this hyperpolarized day and age, it seems like the status of victim has risen substantially in value. You even have groups competing to see who is the most oppressed, who can be. If I might throw a hat into the ring, Jewish. There's comfort in being a victim because it explains our lack of happiness, our lack of achievement, our continued immobility towards whatever self-proclaimed goal we might have. Why would anybody take action if you are convinced the playing field is an uphill climb, while the media and politicians will tell you that it's a downhill jog for every other single person that you don't know? Why even bother? Why not just sit there and whine about how unfair the game is? Worse yet is that victimhood is rewarded. That's why you have your juicy Smollets of the world. The trans activist in Michigan who burned down his own house or her own house with his or her pets inside to bring awareness of how badly the trans community suffers, but somehow instead confirming the fact that a large portion of the community might suffer from mental disorders. Then you have former NFL player Edwin Kaufman, who staged a fake hate crime on his own restaurant in Georgia. Look, the list goes on and on and on. But the question that I'm posing is, why would people go out of their way to turn themselves into victims? The answer, because victimhood today has currency. When you are perceived as marginalized, you get attention, sympathy, notoriety. You can even get money. With all the GoFundMe campaigns abounding, you can turn victimhood into actual currency. Cha-ching! You can prey on the goodwill of others who try to help those in need and turn it into a racket. And when others see someone successful in any area of life, it's very easy to imitate and follow suit. In fact, it's even human nature. Thus, unfortunately, we are becoming more and more a nation of victims, which is very antithetical to the founding principles that the US has succeeded via. It's hardly a look that a century from now, assuming we still exist as the United States of America, or even as a world with everything that's going on, will be looked upon with fondness. Nevertheless, this is, without a doubt, the current cultural zeitgeist. So let's say something negative happens in our life. Maybe we truly are victimized by somebody else. What are we going to do? Are we going to lay down on the proverbial ground and yell, "Help, help, I'm a victim and I can't get up"? And maybe we stay there long enough and yell loudly enough that eventually somebody comes over with a helping hand, a pat on the head, and a $100 bill. And our brain releases a hit of dopamine, making us more likely to engage in the same behavior again. We can be victims of just about anything beyond our control if we choose to be so. We are unable to control the weather, but we can decide where we live. We cannot control if someone insults us in public. We can decide to walk away and avoid violence. We cannot control others attempting to manipulate us. We can control whether we listen and buy into it. The common thread here is the one thing within our purview, the one thing that we have agency over, is our reaction, is our focus, our decision. So if someone knocks you over, rather than stay down on the ground, rise up, get up, and continue to walk to your destination. Every single goal that we set for ourselves will be impeded, inevitably, with obstacles. We must then go around them and continue our path forward, despite the fact that it will rarely, if ever, be in a straight line. The truth is that most people care about you at best superficially and in passing. How many times have we heard about a tragedy that took place to someone else and barely batted an eyelash? or felt sorry for them for maybe a few seconds before concentrating back on our own lives and immediate needs. The psychic energy for victims never lasts, always making them find new ways to play the victim to regain this attention. That is not what we were put on this earth to pursue. We were put here to be a beacon of hope and right action, to raise up others and help them achieve their potential. Of all the people that are remembered throughout history, it is those who helped other people rise up, whether that be Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Jesus Christ. Tony Robbins will be in the future for similar actions. Because when you have that effect on people's lives, that's how we're remembered. When you raise up humanity, those who succeed in life are often met with resistance from souls too scared of the brightness that glows within them. Too many times we are taught to hold in our potential for fear of making someone else feel less than, for fear of failure. When I was in Denmark, this was described to me by a school teacher who told me that there were lots of really smart kids who pretended to be dumb in order to make those who might have not had the same level of intelligence not feel less than, for them not to be ridiculed for being too smart as well. When we allow our light to shine so brightly, when we go out there and choose to succeed and overcome obstacles and continue to love and to shine our own light despite attempts to diffuse it, to cover it up, those who attempt to mock it, people begin to recognize that same potential within themselves. Eventually, in our allowing our passions, our love, our light to shine so brightly, other people are given the unconscious permission to do the same. Which is why the culture of victimhood is so toxic. It teaches people not to take action, not to believe in themselves, to think that the world is unjust and unfair, and the only reason that someone else could possibly succeed is because they were given and granted unfair privileges. The people that are instilling the narrative of victimhood, the mindset of such in others, are those who are purveying poison to the soul of humanity. And yes, hefty and continual doses of light have the ability to eventually wash that away, but not before our country has been burdened with inactivity and a sad and dark mindset. You, as the individual, have the choice to accept victimhood. But even if you truly are, I advise you that believing such does not help you. It does not help your life. It does not help those around you, those who love you. Because even if I've been wronged, I still recognize that I had my part in whatever took place. And even if that's not true, even if no one else could believe that, given this scenario, it gives me the choice to change, the option to learn, and makes me more likely to take positive action to dig myself out of the hole that I might be in. So internalize rather than externalize. Know that daily concerted action of goodness, of rightness, compounds on itself and leads us towards the life and experiences that benefit not only ourselves, but those around us, those we care for. It simply doesn't serve you to accept the idea that you are a victim. So make the choice that is within your power and perceive each experience that we have as one from which we can learn. And no matter what happens to you, no matter how many times we get knocked to the proverbial ground, pick yourself up and dust yourself off and take the learnings from each experience and go onward towards your goal. Take positive action daily. After all, you're only a victim if you choose to perceive yourself as one. If you guys like this material, please thumb it up and share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel. I will continue to try to inspire and go anti-woke to avoid the victimhood narrative from spreading. That is my goal here at Recharge Freedom. Peace out, everybody.